This was a military conflict lasting from 1914 to 1918, which involved nearly all the biggest powers of the world. World War I involved two opposing alliances, the Allies and the Central Powers. The countries of the Allies included were Russia, France, British Empire, Italy, United States, Japan, Romania, Serbia, Belgium, Portugal, and Montenegro. The countries of the Central Powers included Germany, Austria-Hungary, Turkey, and Bulgaria. Impact of cultural diversity in the appearance of the social problem. The cultural diversity originated at the beginning of the World War I due to the tensions in the societies of Europe. An example is the assassination of the Archduke Francisco Fernando, that was a consequence of the disputes between Austro-Hungarians and Serbians.
For the study of this social problem, we decided to use the research techniques like documents. We could use documents to gather information because they have information that can be changed, because it is history, so that information is reliable, always depending on the source. Documents help us to have information that can give us an idea of how that people were trying to survive in different regions of the world in that time. The other research technique that we used was pictures and videos. This helps us to watch graphically the events that occur in a certain battle and also to see how was technology in that time and how did it could develop so fast thanks to this war.
The problem faced during the ethnographic research was the lack of accurate sources to gather information since World War I. It's an old event in history and there are many interpretations about each fact in this event.
It was like an impulsive movement to make this fight because they didn't think in all the consequences that that fight was going to make. Like, for example, the tons of people that died fighting for their countries and everything that was destroyed, the cities, the loss of money, like it really affect the economy of Europe, and that's kind of why United States had the chance to become the most important country in terms of economy and industry. So that's why I think that if they would have think better, they would solve their problems in a different way. Because now that they saw that happen and that everyone knows everything that happened because of that fight, now they're like, oh, we messed up because that's not the right way of solving something.
I think the research about this event was interesting because this investigation helped me to understand one of the most important wars that changed the course of history.
I think that this event is very important to the world even if it was in the past. As we see in this document and in my opinion, I think that this event was one of the most important wars of all time. At the end of this war, the Treaty of Versailles was signed shifting the blame of the World War totally on Germany and forced Germany to pay heavy economic reparations. But this event was also horrible for anyone who fought in. Muddy trenches being stormed by rats and disease as well as enemies. Besides all death, also people started dying on England. This country suffered its first air raids and was no longer a safe place from the World War I. Over 16.5 million people died in this event. So as I say, this event changed the history of all the world.
In my opinion, World War I was an event that changed the world in a humongous way. Some things changed for good and others are bad. This event gave our world a 180 degrees change. Since then, technology has changed a lot. A bunch of new technological devices have been thrown into the market and societies have advanced a lot. But none of us could have wanted to kill an exorbitant amount of dance just to do some technological advances. But in my opinion, thanks to this war we have advanced so much. From my point of view, we see as war as an ignorant way of fixing things up, because things can be solved in other ways, and the most convenient and intelligent one is by signing some peaceful threats.